championship game day here in Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. Mid-American Conference tournament action this afternoon for the women's championship game here in about an hour. Men's championship game later tonight. I am sports editor Mike Stainbrook of the Post, alongside assistant sports editor Rob Ogden. We'll be bringing you guys coverage all day long today. First of the women's game between Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan. A little bit of a surprise with both Northwest Ohio teams losing yesterday in Toledo and Bowling Green. But Central and Eastern Michigan in their own right getting the championship game, followed by the game that most of our listeners and our readers will be looking forward to, Ohio versus Akron, with a trip to the big dance on the line here on ESPN2 coming up at 8 p.m. tonight. Rob, should be a good day of good basketball. For the Bobcats tonight, playing the Zips for the third time this season, split the first two meetings, each team protecting home court. Ohio almost getting a win in Akron, but some foul trouble really hampering things there, and then really blowing out the Zips at their home court.
Yeah, definitely. That last game was kind of a statement win for them on that Sunday night. They did a lot of work in the transition, forcing turnovers. The bench was huge in that game. Stevie Taylor coming off, making a couple big plays. And they really dominated from start to finish in a game that, it didn't really mean much in terms of standings. Akron was able to clinch the MAC championship 2 games later, but I think it was one for Ohio fans and for the team a confidence booster, I guess, heading into the tournament at the end of the season.
And I think that confidence is really what's going to be important against Akron today, knowing that they've beaten the #1 seed in this tournament, by double digits already. Being able to establish that transition game, really to get underneath Akron's skin, should really create a good atmosphere, especially with Ohio maybe thinking then that it could have won the first game as well, which I believe was a 68-63 loss in Akron, in which 4 players fouled out, a 5th finish with 4 fouls. Zeke Marshall seemed to be getting calls left and right. A little bit of controversy in the press conference when Zeke told the press that the refs gave him tips on how to draw fouls. Hard to tell if he was exaggerating on that or not. But either way, Zeke Marshall is the defensive player of the year in the MAC, averaging multiple blocks per game. More of a defensive threat than an offensive threat, but still guarding a 7-foot guy on the offensive end is going to give Evo Baltic, Reggie Keeley, and company a lot of trouble tonight.
Yeah, when you think about that first game, that was a game where Ohio led throughout most of the game, took the lead into halftime, and then the foul trouble kind of got to him at the end, and Akron was able to overcome that at the end. When Ohio wasn't, that's one thing to watch out for tonight without Taekwon Gord on the Ohio bench. We had some foul trouble for the Bobcats last night. How will they handle that tonight if the guys start getting in foul trouble early?
And one thing that the Bobcats have been able to do pretty well this year is to fix its errors in the next game. Reggie Keeley really coming off a couple of rough games against Kent State and then against Toledo, really picked it up with some good offensive rebounds and some putbacks last night. Really looking forward to having Evo Baltic do the same thing tonight. Didn't have a great game yesterday. He hit some good jumpers, hit some key jumpers down the stretch, but really his post play needs to be there a little bit more, especially if he's going to be one of the guys guarding Zeke Marshall tonight. But pretty sure that Baltic's going to take that message personally, be able to step up his defense, hopefully not give up 30-some points in the paint as happened against Buffalo yesterday.
Yeah, you would hope so. That's one thing that Ohio has really done all year, is making adjustments from game to game. We saw even in the first game of this tournament, after Ryan Beerson went for 18 and 16 against Ohio in the regular season, they limit him to 8 points, make some defensive adjustments on him. So, probably a similar type of game plan going into this game.
The interesting factor for this game is going to be 3-point shooting. Ohio made 10 threes in the first half alone yesterday, 5 coming from other zip codes from DJ Cooper in that game. Akron's got some 3-point threats as well. Got Brett McClanahan, he's a senior, he's going to be playing for his tournament life. Also, Alex Abreu, the point guard for the Zips, from time to time has been known to knock down a clutch 3-pointer, as he did against Ohio in the first game when the teams met. He had a little bit of an off game last time. Ohio was able to get him off his rhythm, but in front of what might be a slight advantage home crowd for Akron, just from a proximity standpoint, might really help the Zips out tonight.
Yeah, that's one thing you always try to key in on. Teams that can go inside, outside. You have a big man like Zeke Marshall, and then you have guys that can shoot the 3. It's pick your poison. What do you want to give up? Do you want to give up the points in the paint as they did last night, or do you want to play shutdown perimeter defense? Ohio's been good on the perimeter on defense all year. They're in the top 10 in the country.
First in the MAC, yeah.
First in the MAC. We'll see if that continues tonight.
And one of the things that Ohio's got to do well is playing its third game in 3 days. It's got to move its feet. A couple of sort of chintzy hand check fouls yesterday. One to DJ Cooper, one to Nick Kellogg. Either player normally gets in foul trouble, did not mean too much in the long run. but definitely something that you're going to want to keep moving your feet today, especially with a team that moves the ball as well as Akron does, inside, outside. So it should be a good game tonight.
Yeah, and Akron's only, they're coming off one game. They had the 3-round bye. That didn't seem to affect them in a negative way, at least against Kent State. So they'll be a little fresher than the Bobcats tonight, but maybe Ohio can use this momentum to carry this one.
And as you mentioned a little bit earlier, Rob, that Taekwon Gordon not on the bench again today. He had some academic reasons needed to stay at campus. Had some big minutes from TJ Hall yesterday, really stepped up, finished with 13 points, had I believe 6 offensive rebounds, had a good night at the offensive end, and also took some minutes guarding MAC Player of the Year Mitchell Watt, who put up 32 points yesterday. But anytime they, when a player puts up 32 points against you and you still win, means you're shutting down everyone else. TJ Hall hopefully will carry over some of that momentum into today. Rob, what's your prediction for the game?
I'm going to go Ohio 72, Akron 66. I just think, Ohio really showed in the last game between these two teams that they are the superior team. They blew them out after only losing by, 5 or 6 points on the road in Akron. So I think they'll get the job done today and take home their second MAC championship in 3 years.
And as for Akron playing in its 6th straight MAC championship game, we should probably say that Zips are only 2-3 in those games, though, with the last one coming last year, but lost to Ohio in the final here 2 years ago. I think that's going to happen again. I think Ohio is going to take home this win. I think it's going to be another close game like we saw last night. I've got Ohio winning this game 69-67, possibly going to OT, but I think they're going to get it done in regulation. Loser of this game will probably go to NIT. Akron's already got an NIT bid locked up with the regular season title. Ohio will probably go there because even if Ohio loses this game, record's going to be 26-8. NIT's not going to turn them down, but obviously that's considered second place for this team. Really been working all year long to get back to the big dance. I think they've got a good chance to do it tonight. So we'll see how things go. As always, follow at the Post Sports on Twitter for all the latest updates. The post.ohioU.edu online will have some live stats later with the live blog. We'll be tweeting all day. We'll have some blog posts up. Always check out the photography handiwork of Brian Vincent, shooting some great stuff with us today. So looking forward to this. We're about an hour away from tip-off of the women's game, and then the Bobcats play later tonight. Until then, have a great day, and follow the Post for all your latest sports coverage.